There are too many of us, too many directors, too many cinematographers. There is a rise happening. People in roles like editing, coloring, assistant directing are becoming more valuable than ever. Chase what makes you irreplaceable, because the truth is, niche workers are winning right now. They're thriving. We're back in the hot seat. And today, I want to talk about something revolutionary happening in the creative industry. There is a rise happening, and it's not where you think. Niche workers, people in roles like editing, coloring, assistant directing, are becoming more valuable than ever. And not only that, but niche industries are becoming more valuable than ever as well. We have an oversaturation problem. Right now, you can go on Instagram and you'll see everyone in their bio saying they're a director or a cinematographer or a content creator. It's where a lot of the recognition seems to be. It's where you get your name on the poster. It's where people see you. But here's the reality. The industry is very oversaturated. And in my world, it feels like for every project, there are 200 directors lined up pitching for the same thing. And right now, with a major pullback in the amount of projects being commissioned, directors are like hungry dogs, all fighting for a tiny piece of meat that's just dangling in front of them. So the way that projects are commissioned in music videos and commercials are through treatments. In music videos, there is often a wider reach where many directors will all send in their ideas to compete for a job. And in commercials, they'll generally narrow it down to around 3 directors to submit their pitches. They're essentially shortlisted to compete against each other. Now, I've personally seen music video projects where 30 plus directors all send their treatments to pitch on one song. And guess what? Only one director gets picked, and the rest of them walk away empty-handed. There's no compensation for their time or energy or their ideas on the pitch. And the difficult thing is that a lot of directors are in this position and they're constantly doing this as a means to survive. It's no joke, and it's exhausting because I have been there myself. What's happening now is that the work just isn't keeping up with the number of people trying to get into these roles. This isn't me being negative, by the way. It's facts. So while we're all out here fighting for the top of the pyramid, the people in the middle, the niche workers, are cleaning up. So what is a niche worker? I'm talking about roles like editors, the glue that holds a project together, or VFX artists, the people who animate the project and create 2D or 3D effects, or the assistant directors, aka the ADs or first ADs. These are the people running the show on the set and making sure it's on schedule. Or the colorists, the people taking the footage, fixing the color, adding their magical touch, and making it look like $1 million. These aren't always the most flashy roles, but they're some of the most essential. And guess what? There's a ton of work for them right now, especially with the rise of demand for content. If there are 20,000 cinematographers, but only 100 colorists, they're all going to the same people to color their projects because they are needed and much more scarce. Think about the value of these niche workers. Every director needs a good editor. As I said earlier, every cinematographer needs a good colorist. Every production needs a good AD, keeping things in check. These roles are more scarce and they're harder to replace, and fewer people are specializing in them. And if you're a talented niche worker, you're booked up. You're not fighting thousands of other people for a gig. You're getting calls because you're needed. We see this in commercial work, music videos, and even indie films. So why is this shift happening? Well, first, we have an oversaturation of main roles. Because of social media, Because cameras are cheaper and because now there are online tutorials everywhere, it's never been easier to pick up a camera and call yourself a director or a cinematographer. So now we've got too many people trying to make it in these roles, and the market simply can't sustain it. Niche workers win because they specialize. If you're an editor who knows exactly how to cut fast-paced music videos or a colorist who can handle luxury commercial tones, you are irreplaceable. And you can claim your spot in an industry that truly values you because you're more rare. Think about it like sports. Everyone wants to be the star player, but the team can't win a championship without good coaches, good trainers, and solid role players. Niche workers are like the role players. And finally, we have a shift in budgets and timelines. Budgets are tighter, timelines are shorter, and directors and cinematographers don't have time to micromanage everything. They need trusted editors, they need trusted ADs, and they need people like colorists to deliver for them. Now, how can you win as a niche worker? First, focus on your craft and go deep. Pick a role and get very good at it. Don't just dabble, commit. If you want to be an editor, learn everything about pacing, transitions, and storytelling. The deeper you go, the more valuable you become. I strongly believe in Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule. This rule states that it takes approximately 10,000 hours of dedicated practice to achieve mastery in a skill. And this is popularized in his book, Outliers. And while the 10,000 hour rule may not be true for everything in the world, the point is that you're not going to get something down overnight. You're not going to master it overnight. It's going to take experience in the craft. It's going to take trial and error. Just like what I'm doing with this podcast. This is new to me, and I'm putting in my hours, I'm putting in the time, and the more I do this, the better I get at it. And here's a little secret. I've actually re-recorded this episode multiple times because I feel like the previous versions simply weren't good enough. Hopefully this version makes the cut. Next, to win as a niche worker, you need to market yourself like a specialist. If you're a colorist, showcase your reel. Show before and after photos and videos. If you're a first AD, let people know you can run a set like a military operation and show them how organized you are, with your schedules and call sheets. Stop trying to do everything. Being a jack of all trades isn't what gets you booked anymore. It's good to have general knowledge in different skills, but that's not what people are looking for anymore. They will more likely hire you if you specialize in one particular thing. Now, as a niche worker, you should absolutely build relationships with other creatives like directors and DPs. Niche workers win when they collaborate. Directors, creators, cinematographers, and producers are always looking for reliable specialists. If there's an editor who knows my style and can elevate my vision, I'm going to hire them again, and again, and again. And the work will never stop coming as long as they can keep pushing my vision forward. As a niche worker, you should also embrace the less glory, more work mindset. And what I mean by that is that you might not be on the poster. You might not even always be given the credit you deserve, but you'll always be getting the work. I personally try to always credit my workers on each project, but unfortunately, some people don't. Regardless, you'll be making money and building a sustainable career. And honestly, after years of doing this, in my opinion, this is the most important thing for freelancers. If you're a person in one of these oversaturated roles, the message isn't to quit. It's to build a strong team. Again, if you're a director or a creator or a cinematographer, your success depends on your niche workers. Find a killer editor. Find a great colorist. Find a great first AD who can keep you on track. For creatives considering niche roles, this is the time to pivot. If you've been struggling to break in as a director, think about the skills you can specialize in. You might find more success and more work by becoming great at something specific. Now that we've covered niche workers, I want to talk about the rise of niche industries. Let's step back and talk about some specific industries that are quietly thriving. While everyone's busy chasing traditional paths in music videos or commercials, some very specific corners of the creative world are absolutely booming, and no one's really talking about it. I'm going to give you some examples because I think it's going to open up your mind in how you can truly thrive, since right now, content is king, and there are more opportunities now more than ever to win as a person working in a niche industry. So here's some examples. First, we have corporate and tech explainers. Big corporations and tech startups are spending crazy money on explainer videos. Think about companies like Salesforce or cutting-edge AI startups. They're investing in sleek, animated explainers or beautifully shot internal content because they need to communicate complex ideas visually. Essentially, they're trying to take ideas that might be a bit too complex and make them and translate them to the average person. Now, this isn't sexy work that gives you a million Instagram likes, but guess what? It pays, and it can pay very well. Next, we have gaming content. The gaming industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and their need for content is insane. It's not just big cinematic trailers for big budget AAA games like Call of Duty. It's also gameplay breakdowns, esports promo videos, or even behind the scenes documentaries on game developers. There are entire ecosystems of content that's being created just for the gaming industry and also for the gaming audience. And the budgets are there. Another industry is around food and hospitality. High-end restaurants, boutique hotels, and even food delivery apps are investing heavily in video content. They're creating short films about their chefs, cinematic walkthroughs of their spaces, or mouth-watering recipe videos that look like mini movies. Food content isn't new, but the level of quality that they're investing in now is insane. And it's insane because the technology is easily accessible. Some other industries include fashion, educational platforms, healthcare, nonprofits, and even weddings. So why are these industries and roles thriving? Because they're specialized. They serve a clear purpose and meet a specific demand. That means fewer people are competing for them, and the clients in these spaces are willing to pay more for expertise. Let's recap the key points. The creative industry is oversaturated with creators, directors, and cinematographers all chasing the same opportunities. Niche workers, like editors, colorists, and VFX artists, are becoming the backbone of the industry and thriving because they specialize in roles that are essential and in demand. If you're looking for consistent work, the path forward is clear. Go niche, go deep, and become indispensable. Here's the takeaway. Don't chase the glory roles just because they look good on paper or sound cool in your Instagram bio. Chase what's sustainable. And more importantly, chase what makes you irreplaceable. Because the truth is, niche workers are winning right now. And they're not just surviving, they're thriving. Less competition, more work, more value. That's where the future is. I'm committed to bringing you fresh episodes every week, but I can't do it without your support. If you enjoyed this episode, take a moment to subscribe on your favorite platform, and please leave a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening to. This really helps more than you know, and it's going to allow me to grow this show and provide more education and value to you and your career. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And most importantly, I want to give a big round of applause to ourselves. Thank you for watching. Peace.